Chosen one, pause and let these words sink deeply into your spirit. You are standing on the brink of a divine appointment, a moment so pivotal that all of heaven is leaning in to watch. Great wealth is not just a possibility, it is your destiny. God has decided, and when God speaks, nothing on earth can stand in the way. Everything that has been working against you will bow to the command of divine favor. This is not an accident or a stroke of luck. You have been prepared for this very hour, and the doors of abundance are about to swing wide open before your very eyes. Take a deep breath and sense the atmosphere shifting around you. It might feel like a gentle warmth in your heart, or a sudden surge of excitement that makes your mind race with possibilities. That is the quickening of your spirit, telling you that what you are hearing is more than mere words. It is a prophetic decree over your life, a timeless truth that has been echoing in the heavens, waiting for the perfect moment to be revealed. That moment is now. The struggles, the disappointments, the seasons of barely enough are fading into history. A new chapter begins, one in which you will not only have your needs met, but you will overflow with resources so generously that you will wonder how you ever lived in lack. Yes, you heard correctly. Great wealth is about to find you, often at a time and place where you least expect it. You might be stepping out of your house, running errands, or simply scrolling through your phone when a sudden opportunity appears, like a jewel glimmering in the sun. In the eyes of the world, it might look like a random breakthrough, but deep down, you know better. You will recognize it as the hand of God, guiding every detail to ensure you stumble right into the blessing that was earmarked for you before you even entered this season. If you resonate with this truth, if your spirit leaps at the mention of unstoppable favor, I invite you to type 777 in the comments right now as a bold declaration of faith. Maybe you are asking yourself, why me? The better question is, why not you? It does not matter how many doors have shut in your face, how many people have told you no, or how many times you felt unworthy. The moment God decides, every barrier must bow. The credentials that once seemed insufficient will no longer hold you back. The environment you thought was too small for your dreams will suddenly expand, making room for your vision. The connections you need to flourish are lining up one by one, ready to present themselves just when you need them. You have stepped into a current of divine orchestration, and all you need to do is keep your eyes open, your heart expectant, and your faith unwavering. Look back for a moment at the tapestry of your life. Has there ever been a time when you truly lacked what you needed to survive? Even if you walked through a desert of hardship, somehow, some way, Providence arrived right on time to sustain you. Now imagine that same Providence multiplied beyond measure, so abundant that you scarcely recognize your own reality. That is the kind of shift that is coming. God is not a trickle. He is a limitless ocean. When He pours out blessing, it is not a drizzle. It is a downpour that saturates everything it touches. There is a reason your spirit is responding with such excitement. You were created to live in overflow, not in shortage. This promise is not about greed or flaunting wealth for selfish gain. True abundance has never been about hoarding. It is about living so fully that you have more than enough to be a blessing to others. When you walk in divine prosperity, your generosity becomes a beacon of hope for those around you. You feed the hungry, clothe the naked, fund initiatives that bring light into dark corners of the world. And in the process, you shine a spotlight on the one who made it all possible. That is the higher purpose of wealth, to reflect heaven's heart of compassion and mercy. Some of you might feel a pang of uncertainty when you hear this. You have experienced so much disappointment that it almost feels safer not to hope. But hear this clearly. Do not let past failures mute the voice of promise resonating in your soul. God is not limited by your history. He can take every shattered dream, every dead end, every tearful night, and weave them together into a radiant testimony of restoration. The barren landscape you once stood in is about to blossom. Doors you could not even imagine will unlock, one after another, leading you down a path where the blessings come so quickly that you will have to pause and catch your breath. You might wonder, what do I need to do? The answer is simple. Remain faithful and ready. Keep your heart pure, free from bitterness and resentment. Keep your hands open, willing to release what is no longer serving you. Keep your mind aligned with promises rather than problems. And most importantly, keep your faith alive by speaking words of life over your future. Instead of saying, "I am broke," or "I don't see how this can happen," begin declaring, "Wealth is seeking me out. I am stepping into abundance. God has decided, and I trust His timing." Words carry immense power. They shape your reality in ways you cannot fully comprehend. Let your words become the architects of a world where favor is your default setting. Now, close your eyes briefly and imagine yourself a few months or even weeks from now, looking at the evidence of this promise fulfilled. Perhaps you open an email that brings unexpected news of inheritance, a business deal, or a scholarship. Maybe you walk into a meeting that changes the entire trajectory of your finances. It might be that someone you barely know introduces you to a network that propels you into a new realm of income. Or maybe it will be a sudden, staggering gift that arrives out of nowhere. In that moment you will stand in awe, realizing that God orchestrated every second of your journey to collide with the appointed time for your upgrade. If you sense even a flicker of hope lighting up inside you, latch onto it. Fan it into a roaring flame by surrounding yourself with positivity and faith-filled content. That is why I encourage you to like this video and subscribe if you have not done so already. Doing so is not just an online formality, it is a spiritual move that keeps you connected to an atmosphere of expectancy. Whenever your faith feels shaky, you will have a well of encouragement to draw from, reminding you of who you are and the unstoppable destiny that awaits you. Some people will watch this message and shrug it off as wishful thinking. They will remain locked in cynicism, never stepping into the miracle that was always within reach. But you, chosen one, you are different. You refuse to settle for mediocrity when you sense that greatness has been stamped upon your heart. That is the mark of someone who is ready to embrace the fullness of what God has decided. Do not let the voices of disbelief distract you. Keep your eyes on the promise, your ears tuned to the whisper of the Spirit, and your heart anchored in unwavering faith. The more you guard that faith, the clearer your path to wealth will become. Some of you are battling the lie that you are unworthy. Perhaps you carry guilt over past mistakes or shame over not having done more with your life. Banish those lies immediately. The Creator specializes in rewriting stories. He is the master at turning the unworthy into vessels of glory. If He says you are about to stumble into great wealth, then your role is to believe and prepare. Lay down the baggage of self-doubt, forgive yourself. Embrace the identity of someone who is cherished, called, and appointed. When you do so, you set the stage for an avalanche of blessings that can no longer be held back. Think of how effortlessly seeds sprout in fertile soil. They do not strain or struggle, they grow according to their design. Similarly, when your spirit is in the fertile soil of faith, wealth and opportunity sprout effortlessly around you. Divine connections appear, creative ideas bubble up in your mind, doors open at precisely the right moment. You might still have to work, but it will feel more like flowing than striving. That is how you know the supernatural is involved, when your labor is graced with a sense of ease that surpasses mere human effort. At this point, you might feel an urge to type 777 in the comments again. Go ahead. Each time you do, it is like hammering a nail into the framework of this prophetic word, securing it firmly in your life. It is a small yet potent act of agreement, telling the cosmos, I am all in, I receive this, I align with this destiny. And do not be surprised if you feel a wave of peace or excitement washing over you as you affirm it once more. Now let us talk about timing. Sometimes people grow weary because they do not see immediate results. They plant a seed one day and expect a full harvest the next. But rest assured, there is an appointed time for every word to come to pass. Your job is to stay ready so that when that time arrives, you can move into your new chapter without hesitation. Think of Joseph in ancient times. He was sold into slavery, thrown into prison, but eventually rose to a position of immense power and wealth. When did his promotion happen? Precisely at the moment that would save nations from famine. He did not see it coming, but God decided. One day he was in a dungeon, the next he was interpreting dreams for the king, who then placed him second in command over Egypt. In the same way, your leap into great wealth might appear sudden, even though it has been a long time in the making behind the scenes. Every lesson you have learned, every setback you have overcome, every skill you have developed will converge into a single moment when the door swings open. And you will walk through it carrying the fullness of your calling, equipped to handle the increase without being destroyed by it. Yes, chosen one, prosperity without character can be dangerous, but you have been shaped by fire, refined through trials, and you stand ready for the overflow. Do not be afraid of big numbers. Some people shrink back from large figures, thinking they do not deserve to hold that much money. But if your heart is right, the more you have, the more good you can do. Wealth can be a powerful tool in the hands of those who love justice, mercy, and truth. Rather than shy away from the idea of millions or even billions, ask yourself how many lives could be changed if you dared to receive those levels of resources. This shift in perspective, from fear to purpose, unlocks higher dimensions of possibility. Another step you can take is to clear your environment of negativity. If your social media feeds or your daily conversations are filled with complaining, doubting, and mocking the idea of abundance, it will sap your faith. Protect your mindset as diligently as you would guard your home from an intruder. Only allow voices that speak life and possibility into your space. That does not mean you abandon wisdom or critical thinking. It means you starve the seeds of cynicism before they can take root. As you continue to soak in this message, you might notice ideas popping into your mind. Innovations, investment strategies, or business plans that once seemed impossible. Write them down. These could be sparks of divine wisdom, little glimpses into the blueprint God has for your financial future. Often a wealth transfer is preceded by a wave of inspiration, leading you to the channels through which the blessing will flow. Pay attention and act on these nudges. Even a small step in obedience can trigger a landslide of favor. And yes, along the path you might find yourself tested. A door could close just when you thought it would swing open. Do not despair. Sometimes a no is not a denial, but a redirection to something far greater. Keep your heart humble and your spirit teachable. Ask, what is the lesson here? And then keep moving forward. This resilience will solidify your readiness for wealth that lasts, rather than fleeting riches that slip through your fingers. This is not just a maybe scenario. God has decided. The wealth is coming. Your name is on it. Everything else is a matter of timing and alignment. So lift your head high and allow yourself to dream again. Picture the ways in which your life will transform, the burdens that will lift from your shoulders, and the blessings you will bestow on the world around you. Let that picture fuel your prayers and your confessions each day. When you wake up, declare favor over your finances. When you go to sleep, thank God for the manifestations you have not yet seen, but already believe in. Type 777 again if your excitement is building, if you can almost taste the victory, if your heart is pounding with the thrill of imminent breakthrough. Go ahead and flood the comments, because this is more than just an online interaction. It is a spiritual milestone. With each declaration you are solidifying your faith, pushing back against the voices that say impossible, and inviting the miracle to manifest sooner rather than later. Once again, if you have not yet liked this video or subscribed, consider this your invitation to stay connected. Each piece of content released in this space is designed to strengthen your faith, feed your hope, and keep you anchored in the reality of divine blessing. You do not have to walk this path alone. There is a community of believers, of chosen ones like yourself, marching toward victory and cheering each other on. This is your season of transformation, where you will witness firsthand how swiftly the universe can pivot in your favor once God has decreed it. Like a seedling breaking through the soil toward the sunlight, your financial life is undergoing a rapid, supernatural acceleration. You may not see all the evidence yet, but trust the process. Growth is inevitable when the divine hand is involved. Picture the day you realize you have become a completely different person, more confident, more resilient, more at peace. The spark of possibility has matured into a blazing conviction, and others will notice the change in you. They might ask, "What happened?" And you will smile, remembering moments like this, when the promise was still budding, but already felt so real in your spirit. You will tell them of a time when you decided to believe the unthinkable, that God has a plan to bless you with wealth beyond your imagination. And as you share your story, you will ignite faith in them too, becoming a living testimony of what is possible when someone aligns with heaven's decree. Let us talk about stewardship for a moment, because with great wealth comes great responsibility. Many individuals who receive sudden financial breakthroughs fall into the trap of unwise spending or impulsive decisions. They misunderstand the nature of abundance, seeing it as a ticket to endless indulgence rather than a resource to multiply and share. You, however, are different. Your heart has been prepared. You understand that money is not the goal in itself. It is a tool to fulfill your higher calling and to exemplify love and generosity in a tangible form. So, as you anticipate this influx of blessings, ask yourself, how will I honor God with my wealth? What causes or communities lie close to my heart that I can support more effectively once I have the means? When you think about using your resources for others, you align even more deeply with the flow of provision. The universe recognizes intentions that extend beyond self-gain and responds by expanding your capacity. A pipeline that freely allows water to flow through it never runs dry. It is constantly replenished by a steady current. In the same way, a soul that plans to bless others will find itself continuously refilled. This is the principle of sowing and reaping in action. When you sow generously into fertile ground, the harvest is multiplied back to you, creating a cycle of blessings that cannot be easily broken. You may feel a mixture of excitement and nervousness, wondering if you will manage great wealth wisely. Let that hint of nervousness propel you into learning. Seek knowledge about budgeting, investing, or starting a business if that is where your passion lies. Explore ways to multiply resources in alignment with ethical and godly principles. Take small steps now. Perhaps open a separate savings or investment account with the intention that it will one day hold a portion of the surplus you are about to receive. By doing so, you signal your readiness. It is like preparing storehouses before the rain of blessings arrives, ensuring that nothing goes to waste when the downpour begins. If you have children, consider how you will teach them about finances once this wealth manifests. You have an opportunity to break generational cycles of lack or poor money management. Imagine instilling in them a mindset of faith, integrity, and generosity that sets them up for lives of impact and influence. The inheritance you leave them could go far beyond monetary assets, extending into a legacy of godly wisdom and moral responsibility. Indeed, this wealth transfer is not just about you. It is about building a foundation that blesses future generations. Every spiritual truth invites us to reflect on potential hindrances. Could pride slip in when you start seeing more zeros in your account? Keep your eyes on humility. Pride is a subtle thief. It masquerades as confidence, but ultimately isolates you from the divine flow. Humility, by contrast, keeps your heart tender and open, forever reliant on the one who gave you the blessing in the first place. Humility also helps you remain approachable, so people who need your guidance or mentorship can come to you without fear. The more wealth you handle, the more important it is that you treat everyone from the janitor to the CEO with genuine respect and kindness. Also, be prepared for those who might appear solely because they see your rise. Discern who is genuinely for you and who only wants a slice of your blessing. Having clear boundaries is not unkind. It is a form of stewardship over what God has entrusted to you. Yet never let caution harden your heart. Keep compassion at your core, being wise as a serpent but harmless as a dove. This balance will maintain the integrity of your relationships and ensure that the wealth you gain does not come at the expense of your peace. Take another moment and envision the ripple effect your wealth will have. You could become the benefactor of promising students who otherwise could not afford higher education. You might launch community centers that transform troubled neighborhoods into beacons of hope. Perhaps you will fund innovative projects or ministries that literally save lives. Each dream you entertain with a pure motive becomes a prayer that aligns with heaven's desire to see the world healed and restored. Such alignment intensifies the magnetic pull of blessings toward you because now your aspiration serves a greater cause. If you have ever doubted whether you can trust God with your finances, recall the numerous ways He has shown up in your life, even in small details. Think of the times He made a way out of no way, the moments of serendipity that rescued you at the 11th hour. Those experiences were never random. They were glimpses of the extraordinary care that has always surrounded you. Now that care is about to manifest on a scale that may astound you. As He astounded you, He dare to believe, dare to hope, dare to prepare. Some people who hear messages like this respond skeptically. It sounds too good to be true. But the entire kingdom dynamic is based on the premise that the natural realm often fails to capture the fullness of spiritual reality. Miracles are by definition things that defy or surpass common sense. So, if a part of you whispers that this is all too grand, too lavish, remind that part of yourself that you serve a God who parted seas, fed multitudes with a handful of bread and fish, and raised the dead. Compared to those wonders, orchestrating a wealth transfer is not at all difficult. Type 777 in the comments if this resonates with you so powerfully that you can hardly sit still. Each number typed is a hammer striking the anvil of destiny, forging a stronger linkage between you and the word that has been released. There is unity and strength in visible acts of faith, and you are not alone in this. Countless others are right now declaring the same promise, turning individual sparks into a blazing fire of collective expectation. And remember to like and subscribe if you have yet to do so, because this journey is ongoing and fresh revelations will continue to flow in this space. Keep an eye out for what we call prophetic signposts. These may be small but telling events that act like a confirmation you are on the right track. For example, finding random money in an unexpected place could be a sweet nudge from above, reminding you that you are indeed chosen. Or you might overhear a conversation about a major financial opportunity that aligns perfectly with something God has been whispering to you in prayer. When such moments happen, pause and acknowledge them. A quick, heartfelt thank you cements the experience into your consciousness, building momentum toward the larger breakthroughs ahead. Do not hesitate to share your testimonies, both small and large. It is important for faith communities to celebrate every sign of progress. If you find a few extra dollars in your pocket that you had forgotten, rejoice as if you received 1,000,000. Why? Because gratitude at every level conditions your heart to receive at a higher level. It shows the universe that you are neither entitled nor dismissive of the blessings that come your way. From the widow's mite to the billionaire's fortune, all provision deserves our sincere thanks. Also, stay open to unexpected channels of resource. God is infinitely creative. The wealth He has decided to deliver into your hands could arrive through many avenues. Investments that skyrocket, promotions that outpace your qualifications, brand new streams of income you never considered, or even the kindness of a stranger. When you see others step into opportunities, celebrate them, rather than envy them. That act of celebration keeps your heart in alignment with abundance, reminding you that there is more than enough for everyone. On the practical side, consider that sudden wealth can shift family dynamics and social circles. Some people might respond with awe and admiration, while others might feel threatened or left behind. You might be surprised to see who supports you wholeheartedly and who withdraws. This is not a reflection on you, but on their capacity to handle change. Show grace wherever possible, and let those who cannot celebrate you fade away without malice. This season may reconfigure your network, bringing in new voices that uplift your vision and releasing old voices that no longer resonate with where you are headed. As we delve further, remember that while wealth is incredible, it is not your identity. Your identity is rooted in being a child of the King, an ambassador of light, a steward of grace. Money is a powerful servant but a terrible master. Keeping this perspective will safeguard your heart from the pitfalls that can accompany sudden prosperity, such as arrogance, greed, or a misplaced sense of security. True security rests not in your balance sheet, but in the unchanging character of the one who called you. If you need a tangible exercise to strengthen your faith, try writing down a wealth declaration. On a piece of paper, affirm statements like, "I am chosen to manage significant resources. God's favor rests on my finances. I live in the overflow so I can bless others," and "Wealth chases me because I have a divine assignment to fulfill." Place this declaration somewhere visible, on your mirror, your fridge, or your desk. Read it aloud every day. Over time, these words will sink into the core of your belief system, shaping your actions and reactions until walking in abundance feels as natural as breathing. Close your eyes, if only for a second, and imagine yourself stepping onto a stage. It could be a stage in a grand auditorium or the stage of your life's calling. Whatever visual resonates with you, on this stage, a light shines directly on you, illuminating your gifts, your personality, and your heart. In the audience, you see countless faces filled with hope and admiration, waiting to see what you will do with the abundance bestowed upon you. This is not a scene of vanity, it is a scene of purpose. The wealth that you are about to receive is not just for your comfort, it is to magnify the good you can contribute to the world. In that moment, you realize that every resource, every coin, every opportunity is a sacred trust, given so that you may be a beacon of generosity and transformation. Of course, with this newfound clarity comes an even deeper sense of peace. Gone are the days of anxious striving or frantic hustle just to make ends meet. There is nothing wrong with working hard, but when divine grace rests upon your efforts, the outcome far surpasses what human strength can achieve alone. Instead of running yourself ragged, you begin to operate from a posture of rest, confident that your steps are ordered by a wisdom greater than your own. Yes, you will still face challenges, they're part of every journey, but your perspective on them changes dramatically. Each hurdle becomes a stepping stone, each delay a chance to refine your strategy. Think of it like an eagle soaring high above the storm. While smaller birds panic in adverse weather, the eagle spreads its wings and uses the wind currents to ascend even higher. Similarly, when circumstances look bleak, your faith transforms them into an updraft, lifting you beyond the limitations that trap others. You're no longer tethered to doubt or bound by what should be possible in the natural realm. Great wealth often comes in ways that defy logic, precisely because it carries a supernatural signature. At this point, you might notice that your daily habits are beginning to shift. You wake up with anticipation instead of dread. You look for possibilities instead of problems. You bless your bills when they arrive instead of resenting them, because you know that your supply is not in question. You might even start spontaneously giving to causes or individuals without a second thought, because your heart overflows with the assurance that you cannot outgive your source. And as you do, you'll discover a strange yet beautiful law. The more you release, the more you receive. It is as though the entire cosmos echoes your generosity, returning it to you multiplied. Still, you may find pockets of resistance in your own mind. Old programming, perhaps from childhood or past financial setbacks, may try to rear up, warning you to be realistic or to brace yourself for disappointment. When that happens, do not be harsh with yourself. Recognize those voices as remnants of another season, one in which you had not yet encountered this magnitude of revelation. Gently replace them with affirmations of truth. God has decided on my behalf. I am chosen for overflow. Or, my circumstances are shifting even now. Over time, these affirmations become second nature, fortifying you against any temporary setbacks. Type 777 in the comments once more if you feel these words aligning with your core, if you sense that you are not reading by chance but by divine orchestration. And do not forget to like and subscribe if you haven't yet, maintaining a continuous link to the messages that ignite your faith. Every time you engage in these acts of agreement, you deepen the well from which your blessings flow, making it easier for your spirit to draw life-giving water whenever you feel parched. Let us discuss the concept of divine accelerators. These are moments or circumstances that fast-track your breakthrough, making what should have taken years happen in a matter of weeks or even days. Perhaps it is a mentor who appears out of nowhere, offering guidance or resources that propel you forward. Maybe it is an unexpected windfall, like an inheritance or settlement, which lands in your lap exactly when you need it. Or it could be a partnership that amplifies your gifts and creates multiple streams of income almost overnight. When you are in the flow of God's decision, you do not have to struggle to make these accelerators happen. They find you, because you are already positioned to receive. Keep in mind that wealth is not limited to currency alone. True riches encompass health, relationships, creativity, and spiritual depth. Financial prosperity is just one aspect, though an important one, that enables you to operate with freedom and impact. When God decides to bless, He often touches multiple facets of your life simultaneously, weaving them together into a tapestry of blessing. For instance, you might notice that as your finances improve, you also gain clarity in your personal calling, or mend a fractured relationship. This holistic uplift is a hallmark of divine favor. And while we celebrate the promise of great wealth, let's not overlook the importance of humility and service. In your ascent, never lose sight of the fact that every breath you draw is a gift. Your rising bank balance doesn't elevate you above anyone else, it expands your ability to serve. If you hold on to that servant's heart, there is no limit to how high you can go. History and scripture alike are filled with stories of individuals who started off in humility, received incredible abundance, and wielded it to uplift entire communities or nations. Now it is your turn to take your place in that lineage of givers and change-makers. Should you encounter skeptics, remember that not everyone is ready to accept a narrative of divine intervention and sudden wealth. Some may call it fantasy or label you as irrationally optimistic. That is okay. They are not your assignment. Keep your vision focused on what has been revealed to you. Share your faith with those who are open, and do not let the cynicism of a few rob you of your inheritance. The fruit of your testimony will speak louder than any debate could. You might also feel prompted to break certain patterns or cycles in your life, like overspending, self-sabotage, or procrastination. This prompting is part of the refining process that ensures you can steward wealth effectively. Responding to it might look like creating a budget for the first time, or scheduling a meeting with a financial advisor. Each practical step you take is a physical demonstration of your faith, bridging the gap between the spiritual promise and the earthly manifestation. In moments of prayer or quiet reflection, ask God to show you any blind spots that could block the flow of blessing. Sometimes it is unforgiveness, sometimes it is pride, sometimes it is a lack of clarity about what you truly want. Whatever it is, bring it into the light. Healing those areas will give you the capacity to handle the substantial blessings rushing your way without becoming burdened or disoriented. At this stage, you may wonder if you are doing enough or if you should be doing more. The secret is to stay in step with divine timing. There is a rhythm to grace, a cadence to the unfolding of miracles. Listen closely, and you will sense when it is time to act and when it is time to wait. This dance of faith and obedience is far more powerful than frantic activity rooted in fear. When you operate in divine rhythm, your smallest action can yield enormous results because it is backed by heaven's wind. Each sentence we share here is fashioning a new framework in your mind and spirit. The old, limited structures are crumbling under the weight of fresh revelation. You are becoming a vessel capable of holding more, of accomplishing more, of giving more. Do not be surprised if you start seeing immediate shifts, a phone call offering you a lead, a message from someone you haven't heard from in years, a random encounter that sparks an idea too good to ignore. These coincidences may well be the opening scenes of the grand narrative God is writing on your behalf. Take a moment to visualize exactly what stumbling into great wealth could look like for you. Is it acquiring an unexpected property that quadruples in value? Is it an investment that yields returns far beyond industry norms? Maybe it is a business idea that goes viral and multiplies your income overnight. Or possibly an inheritance from a distant relative you never even considered. Keep the vision flexible, knowing that God's creativity far surpasses your imagination. What matters is that you hold the door open in your heart, ready to receive however the provision arrives. The notion that God has decided should fill you with incredible calm. If He has decided, it is not up for debate. You do not have to beg, bargain, or plead. You merely align, believe, and follow the instructions that arise in your spirit. This is not about passivity, it is about synchronized action. Just as